dear beloved. In the ancient halls of the mystery schools, in Kemet, in Chaldea, in the temples of early Christendom and the hidden sanctuaries of the East, there was a quiet understanding that what you gaze upon with intention, you become aligned with. The ancients saw the human being not only as flesh and breath, but as a walking instrument of divine cinema. They believed that the eyes were not merely organs of sight, but sacred projectors, luminous gateways through which the inner soul's desires could be cast upon the screen of reality. And deeper still, they revered the third eye, the inner lens of the soul, as the sacred director, aligning, sequencing, and harmonizing all experiences with the frequency of the heart's chosen vision. So they taught, your life is a scroll of light. Each image you hold, each thought you believe, is a frame. And just as ancient scribes inked the scrolls of kings, so too does your mind ink your destiny, with light, with sound, with wish. Imagine this, you sit in the theater of existence. The world is the screen. And from the core of your being, you project a radiant longing, not of greed, but of divine sufficiency, of sacred abundance, of spiritual and financial overflow meant to bless not only yourself but the world you touch. In the stillness, you see it, gold light emerging from your third eye, a frequency born not of desperation, but of divine remembrance. You remember, wealth is not taken. It is summoned. It is not begged for. It is harmonized with. And what you harmonize with, you become. The mystics knew this well. They would sit in contemplation with eyes softened, and project the vibration of their desires through their eyes as a frequency. And through their inner projector, their third eye would cast this sacred film outward, drawing to them the exact sequence of events, conversations, opportunities, miracles, needed to fulfill the vision. It was never magic. It was never luck. It was spiritual law. As within, so without. As seen, so summoned. Today, in this contemplation, you too become the ancient initiate. You close your eyes, and project desires and let your third eye harmonize with that vision until your nervous system believes it is already real. And now, you know. The sacred film is already rolling. The sequence has begun. Your life, your financial blessings, are no longer a distant hope. They are a script being lived, line by line, frame by frame, by the holy projector of your soul. Remain faithful to the inner vision. Remain steadfast in the vibration. For that which is seen through the lens of the third eye, becomes the story you live. A wish fulfilled. A blessing made manifest. A financial anointing written in light. In the shadowed stone corridors of the ancient temples, hidden among the lotus-filled waters of Kemet, beneath the stars of Chaldea, and within the sanctums of the Essence, there lived a sacred teaching that your eyes are projectors. Your third eye, the sacred lens of the soul, is the harmonizer. And reality is the screen upon which your innermost frequencies are cast. The ancients understood that experiences does not simply happen, it is orchestrated, sequenced like scenes in a divine film, harmonized by the inner vision and projected outward into the quantum field. Each thought, each feeling, each wish born from the inner chambers of your being emits a frequency, a beam of sacred intention, that informs the unfolding of your personal reality. But they also knew a deeper, more sobering truth: you are not the only projector. In this world of living minds and pulsing hearts, millions of projectors shine at once, and not all are attuned to your good. Some project fear, control, envy, illusion. And these frequencies, though foreign to your sacred wish, drift into your perceptual field, the subtle realm through which you interpret and co-create your experiences. This field is not neutral. It is sensitive, magnetic, and highly impressionable. Just as light is bent by gravity, so too can your inner vision be bent by the suggestions of others. What you perceive is influenced not only by what you wish, but by what others wish about you. The sages warned, guard your eye, for it is the lamp of the body. If your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light. To keep the eye single meant more than clarity, it meant sovereignty over what you allow into your lens. When you project upon your life a wish for wealth, blessings, abundance, peace, purpose, and happiness, your third eye begins to harmonize you with experiences aligned with those realities. In this way they are drawn to you. You begin to live the vision. But if, unknowingly, you allow the projections of others to tint your lens, if you absorb their doubt, fear, or limitation, your sequence begins to stutter. The script shifts. The scenes no longer align. So the ancients practiced vibrational discernment. They shielded the projector with prayer, fasting, solitude, and silence. They cleansed the lens of the third eye with sacred oils, sunlight, and breath. And most of all, they maintained a sanctified inner cinema, where only visions aligned with divine will were allowed to play. This is your invitation today. To sit in the temple of your being. To feel the warmth of your eyes and the glow of your third eye. To ask yourself, with reverence, what am I projecting into the field? And whose projections have I mistaken as my own? Breathe deeply now. See your sacred projector align, the eyes and third eye forming one beam of focused light. See the wish you hold, not just for wealth or health, but for truth, freedom, and soul fulfillment. Project it into the quantum screen. And now, call back your perceptual field from the entanglements of others. Reclaim your lens. Purify your frequency. And let the harmonizing begin again. For when your projection is clear and sovereign, and your wish rooted in the divine, then the sequence that unfolds before you will not just be a wish fulfilled, it will be a destiny remembered. A sacred film only your soul was meant to live. The sacred cinema of the soul in ancient temples, initiates were taught that life is not seen, it is projected. Your eyes cast forward your inner beliefs like light through film, and your third eye harmonizes those images into sequences of events. But beware, when you unknowingly absorb the images others wish you to see, your sacred cinema begins to play someone else's story. The law of vision and vibration mystics of old spoke of the eye of fire, the inner vision that burns through illusion. It was said that what this eye beholds with desire and clarity begins to solidify in the etheric world. But if clouded by the smoke of others' thoughts, that vision is dimmed, and what manifests may be the residue of their fears. The scroll of the gaze in Chaldean mystery traditions, perception was considered a scroll, written not with ink, but with focused seeing. What your eyes project becomes written across time. But if the scroll is touched by the gaze of another whose intentions distort truth, your script can be rewritten subtly, until you live out their wish, not your own. The third eye and the divine script. The third eye is the scribe of your spiritual screenplay. When clear, it harmonizes your life with divine rhythm. But the ancients warned, stray thoughts, mass consciousness, and peer projection can act as editors, interfering with your sacred script and misaligning your path. The mirrors of Babylon in the tower cultures of old, mirrors were not for vanity but for reflection of inner frequency. The seers knew, if you let another cast their image upon your mind, you will mirror their fate. You must know your own frequency, or others will write it for you, subtly, lovingly, or with malice. The Vision Gate. The essence taught of the Vision Gate, a temple of perception between the brows. Through it, divine realities are born. But if unguarded, this gate becomes porous, receiving projections of lack, fear, or limitation. Your gate must be watched with prayer, clarity, and deep resolve. The subtle tyranny of collective thought. While your vision may be sovereign, the collective mind of the world is loud. Ancient teachers warned that the greatest seduction isn't always from enemies, but from family, lovers, friends whose fears shape their hopes for you. Love them, but see your own vision. The prism of the perceptual field. The field around you is a prism. Your vision passes through it and becomes experience. But when others emit their wishes upon you, your prism may bend, refracting outcomes not meant for your soul. Cleanse the prism. Clarify the lens. Align with your source. The sequence of the sacred wish. What you see, you summon. The eye, like an ancient reel, spins its wish into a stream of moments. But wishes carry weight. And when others wish upon you, from love, fear, or control, they too influence your film. Let your third eye filter what is yours and what is theirs. The veil of unseen intentions. In Egyptian rites, the initiate was taught to pierce the veil, not just the veil of illusion, but of hidden intent. The world is full of others projecting expectations upon you. Without inner discernment, you wear their veil. With it, you project your truth. The holy reels of inner knowing. The mystics called it the holy reel, the eternal film within the soul that knows your true path. But if you look too often at the screens of others, your reel halts. To move again in sacred timing, withdraw. Center. Project only what is aligned with your spirit's purpose. The mystery of echoed desire. Not all projections are conscious. Some are psychic echoes, family karma, generational thought forms, collective beliefs. These echoes can embed in your field, mimicking your own vision. The key is silence, to distinguish the true wish from the shadow of another's. The shield of the inner gaze. In the ancient East, monks visualized a golden lens over their third eye to shield from external interference. What you see becomes what you sequence. Shield your gaze with love, clarity, and light, lest the world's projections rescript your reality. The spiral of entangled visions. Sometimes your vision and another's are entangled, through love, trauma, or shared hope. If their vision for you contradicts your soul's call, conflict brews. The mystics taught, disentangle in love. Then, reproject in sovereignty. Freedom must precede fulfillment. The temple of the eye. The eye was considered a temple in many mystery schools, a holy site where wish becomes law. To honor the temple, one had to cleanse it daily, not just from one's own doubts, but from others' subtle spells. To project truth, the temple must remain undistorted. In the ancient traditions of Egypt, India, and early Christian mysticism, it was long understood that the body is a temple and the chakras are its sacred altars, each one a gate through which spirit descends into form and form ascends into spirit. Among them, the third eye, located at the center of the brow, has been revered as the seat of divine sight, the eye of Horus, the Ajna chakra, the lamp of the body spoken of by Christ. If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. The third eye is not an eye in the physical sense, but an instrument of perceptual attunement. It does not merely see, it harmonizes. It senses vibrations. It listens not to language as logic but to words as resonance. Whatever words, emotions, or ideas you consistently place in the center of your inner vision, the third eye begins to interpret as your primary vibration. Then, as if tuning a great cosmic lens, it aligns your outer life to reflect that inner sight. To place the word abundance at the third eye is to ask your perception to seek its essence everywhere, in people, in moments, in opportunities, in self-worth, in finances. It becomes the organ of prophecy not in the sense of predicting the future, but in designing the lens through which the future becomes visible. Yet, like any ancient oracle, the third eye requires purity, clarity, and nourishment. Carrot juice, freshly pressed and vibrant with the orange life of the sun and the earth, has long been revered by spiritual healers as food for the inner sight. Rich in beta-carotene, which the body transforms into vitamin A, the very nutrient the physical eyes require to function, this juice also nourishes the subtle energies of perception. Orange is the color of vision, vitality, and creative flow. When you drink fresh carrot juice with reverence and intention, you energize the inner lens. The third eye becomes more awake, more receptive, more fluid in tuning to your chosen vibration. Steps to activate financial abundance through the third eye chakra: drink fresh carrot juice with intention. Each morning, before you begin your work or sit in silence, drink a glass of fresh carrot juice. As you do, breathe into the center of your forehead. Whisper softly, "I drink clarity. I drink vision. I nourish the light within my inner eye. I see abundance." This is not a mechanical act, but a sacred communion between your spirit and the nourishment of the earth. Focus the word abundance at the center of your brow. Sit in quiet meditation. With your eyes closed, imagine the word abundance glowing in gold light, pulsing softly at your brow point. Allow the feeling of abundance, expansion, generosity, wealth, freedom, to rise within. Let the third eye begin to harmonize with this vibration. Connect emotionally to the vision. The third eye responds not only to images, but to feelings. Don't just visualize abundance, feel what it would be like to live in the flow of it. Breathe the emotion up into the brow and saturate that space with the atmosphere of wealth, not the desire for it, but the feeling of already living it. Speak aligned words into the silence. Speak affirmations, slowly and with feeling. Examples: I perceive opportunities that others cannot see. My inner vision guides me toward overflow. Abundance is the atmosphere of my being. Feel these words resonate in your forehead, as if writing codes into your perceptual system. Live in harmony with the vision. Take small daily steps that affirm the vision you've set. If the third eye sees you as abundant, align your behavior with that truth. Keep your space clean and ordered. Abundance flows where clarity lives. Share something each day. Abundance multiplies through generosity. Say no to things that drain you. Scarcity often enters through unguarded gates. Repeat nightly before sleep. The third eye continues working as you sleep. Before you rest, place your hand over your forehead, breathe slowly, and mentally repeat, I sleep in the vision of abundance. My perception is aligning with financial grace. What I see inwardly flows outwardly. The mystics of old did not merely pray for abundance, they attuned to it. They knew that the eye of spirit is not passive, it is participatory. It shapes what is projected through it. It listens for that frequency in every word, every image, every emotion you project through it. If you project luck and blessings, it aligns you with blessings. If you project riches, it begins to look for plenty, and reflect experiences that matches the riches you are projecting. Drink the juice of the earth. Project the light through your eyes. Feel wealth in your heart. And let the eye of spirit bring into being what you have attuned yourself to see. Abundance is not outside you, it is behind your brow, waiting to be seen. In every sacred tradition, there are hidden rivers of wisdom flowing just beneath the surface of words, pointing toward the secret, that vision is not simply what the eyes see, it is what the soul attunes to. The third eye chakra, known in Sanskrit as Ajna, has long been understood as the gateway of inner vision, the organ of divine perception, the lens through which we interpret reality and shape the world we walk within. The ancient mystics taught that this chakra, nestled between the brows, does not function like our outer eyes. It sees inward, into the subtle architecture of thought and feeling, tuning itself like an instrument to whatever vibration is consistently centered within it. It is deeply sensitive to emotions, intuitions, and the whispered meanings behind words. Whatever idea is placed before the inner eye, be it lack or blessing, fear or faith, the third eye begins to adjust the lens of reality to reflect that inner posture. To center the word blessings at the third eye is to awaken a divine mirror. It begins harmonizing your thoughts, emotions, and perception toward that frequency. Suddenly, the invisible threads of grace that weave through life become more visible. Pathways open. Intuitions rise. Financial blessings, which once seemed distant or random, begin to emerge in synchrony with your inner atmosphere. The carrot juice mystery, nourishing the lens of the spirit in the hidden sciences of ancient healing. It was known that foods carried spiritual assignments, especially when consumed with awareness. Fresh carrot juice, vibrant with the orange hue of sacred vitality, is not merely nourishment for the body, it is a tonic for inner clarity. Carrots draw their strength from deep within the earth, absorbing the solar codes of growth and vision. Their orange brilliance reflects the spectrum of the sacral and third eye chakras, creative flow and clear insight. Rich in beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A, essential for vision, carrot juice enlivens both the outer and inner eye. When you drink carrot juice consciously, mindful of its mission, you feed the lens of your soul. The third eye becomes more receptive, more illuminated, more alive. And in this nourished state, it begins to offer guidance, steps, and spiritual suggestions that align your external world with the inner vibration you've placed before it. A spiritual practice, awakening financial blessings through the third eye. Prepare the sacred juice each morning, juice fresh organic carrots. As you hold the glass, close your eyes and say, I drink vision. I drink insight. I drink the light of blessings. Breathe in the orange glow. Let it rise from your belly to your brow, infusing your inner sight with clarity and warmth. Focus the word blessings at your brow. Sit quietly and imagine the word blessings glowing in soft golden violet light at the center of your forehead. See it pulsing like a mantra of light. This is not merely a thought, it is an offering to the third eye, a key to harmonize your perception with the reality of financial grace. Engage the emotions of receiving. Allow yourself to feel what financial blessings would feel like if they were already flowing into your life: relief, trust, expansion, peace. Let these feelings rise and center themselves in your brow. The third eye responds to emotionally charged ideas. It will begin adjusting your perceptual field to draw in people, ideas, and opportunities that match this inner state. Repeat the word blessings in rhythm. Softly repeat, blessings, blessings, blessings. As you do, place your attention at your brow. Each repetition sends a signal to your perceptual body: this is the reality I choose to harmonize with. You will begin receiving subtle inner instructions: call this person. Try this idea. Let this go. These are the whispers of the harmonized third eye. Journal the instructions received. Write down any insights. Trust the next step. Often financial blessings come as a seed of inspired action. Walk in agreement with the vision. Let your daily choices reflect the atmosphere of blessings. Bless your hands before working. Bless your wallet before spending. Bless your future before it arrives. Speak the word blessings over your life, your income, your service to the world. The more the word is centered at your brow, the more your perception aligns to reveal its truth. Closing contemplation. The third eye does not manufacture fantasies, it aligns perception with chosen frequencies. It is the inner compass that turns thought into insight and emotion into manifestation. When you place the word blessings at the center of your spiritual sight and nourish that lens with living foods like fresh carrot juice, you awaken the eye of divine suggestion. And when the third eye is fed with clarity and charged with the emotion of abundance, it does what it was always meant to do: it sees the path, reveals the door, and guides you step by step into the reality already forming around the vision you hold within. Drink deeply. Focus clearly. Feel richly. The blessings you seek are already watching you through the eye of your spirit. The inner oracle of blessings in ancient temples, initiates were taught to close their outer eyes so that the inner oracle might open. The third eye was seen as the place where spirit whispers, where divine intelligence becomes visible. When you center the word blessings here, it is like placing a scroll of sacred truth before this inner oracle. The eye does not argue, it attunes. Soon, what you call a blessing begins to emerge from the unseen. The fruit of orange light carrot juice, drawn from the root and radiant with orange light, was believed by mystics to carry the essence of vision. To drink it in sacred stillness is to feed the lens of prophecy. As the juice quickens the third eye, it prepares the soul to recognize financial blessings as more than coin. They are alignments, timings, and answered prayers wearing the clothes of opportunities. Harmonizing with the word, whatever word is placed consistently at the third eye becomes a signal sent to the universe. Repeat the word blessings while breathing slowly and focusing on your brow. The eye, sensitive to repetition and vibration, begins to search your environment for reflections of this word. Soon, what was invisible becomes obvious. The blessings were always there. The eye needed only tuning. The prophets' diet prophets of old fasted, purified, and drank foods of light. Carrot juice, in this tradition, is a prophet's drink. It sharpens vision, not only physical, but spiritual. As you sip it, say, I drink to see. I drink to know. I drink to receive divine direction. Then sit in silence. Feel the pulse in your brow. Wait. The instructions will begin to unfold, often as in a nudges. Emotion as the key. The third eye is not activated by thought alone but by feeling. If you repeat blessings but feel lack, the eye becomes confused. But when you repeat blessings while feeling deep gratitude, even if for a small thing, the eye aligns with that frequency. It is not thought that builds the new world. It is feeling as thought embodied. The lamp of the body. Christ spoke of the eye as the lamp of the body. When your eye is single, your whole being is filled with light. That light is perception. And perception shapes reality. To place blessings before this lamp is to let your entire life be filled with the light of what is already being given to you, even before it reaches your hands. The inner scrolls of gold. Mystics say that the third eye contains inner scrolls, programs of perception. Most scrolls are old, written in fear, lack, or survival. But when you repeat the word blessings at the brow, a new scroll begins to inscribe itself in golden script. The more you repeat it, the clearer it becomes. The more you feel it, the faster it manifests. The nectar of guidance. Carrot juice is a nectar when drunk in ritual awareness. Combine it with the repetition of blessings and you activate both body and soul. The juice feeds the cells. The word feeds the spirit. Together, they awaken divine instruction, what to release, what to create, who to call, when to rest. These small steps are often the very path to financial overflow. Vision begets provision. Where the eye sees, the soul follows. When you align the third eye to financial blessings, not as fantasy, but as the deep truth of the universe's generosity, you begin to walk toward provision. Vision creates direction. Direction creates access. Access creates manifestation. From seeing to receiving, many speak of abundance, but few see it. The third eye is the instrument that transforms talk into sight, and sight into reception. As you drink carrot juice, repeat blessings and focus your emotion on trust, the universe begins to bring what was once delayed. The eye opens the hand. The pulse of inner wealth. Place your fingers gently between your brows. Breathe. Whisper, blessings, feel the subtle pulse. That is your wealth center. Not in the bank, but in the brow. The more often you feed this center with vision, juice, words, and emotion, the more the outer world arranges itself to match your inner wealth. The temple within ancient temples had inner sanctuaries, quiet, hidden places where divine guidance was received. Your third eye is this sanctuary. As you repeat blessings and drink living juice, you enter this temple. Financial blessings often come first as ideas, feelings, or dreams. The more you return to the temple, the more guidance flows. The alchemy of attention. Whatever you consistently place your attention on begins to shape your field. The third eye is the focusing crystal of attention. To focus blessings, here is alchemy, a transformation of energy, thought, and reality. Old patterns dissolve. New blessings form like dew in the morning. The celestial mirror. Mystics believed the third eye was a mirror that reflects what is most often placed before it. If you place fear, it reflects fear. But if you place blessings, with emotion and sincerity, it begins to reflect signs, synchronicities, and openings. What is reflected becomes your path. And your path becomes your wealth. The covenant of inner sight. Make a covenant with your inner eye. I will feed you vision. I will nourish you with light. I will speak blessings and not curses. I will trust your guidance. Then live by this vow. Drink carrot juice daily as a sacrament. Speak blessings as a mantra. And follow the inner guidance that begins to appear, not in thunder, but in stillness. The path to financial blessings will not be outside of you, it will arise from the holy ground between your brows. The eye between the worlds. Ancient seers taught that the third eye is the place where two worlds meet, spirit and matter. When the word blessings is placed at this threshold, the inner and outer worlds begin to agree. Financial blessings cross through the veil, not because you chase them, but because you align your seeing to welcome them. The altar of inner seeing. The third eye is an altar in the temple of your body. Whatever you place on that altar becomes the prayer of your perception. When you drink carrot juice with reverence and offer the word blessings to this altar, the unseen realms begin to echo your request with instructions, visions, and resources. The sacred mirror of the mind. Long ago, mystics spoke of the third eye as a mirror, not of what is, but of what is becoming. When blessings is reflected there, the mirror returns confirmation, ideas, and prosperity disguised as intuitive nudges. The more the mirror reflects blessings, the more life begins to resemble that reflection. Living light in liquid form. Carrot juice, radiant with solar energy, was revered in ancient herbal wisdom as light in liquid form. When consumed with the intention to awaken the third eye, it clears the fog of doubt. With this clarity, the word blessings takes root, and the eye becomes a clear channel for divine financial instruction. The compass of spirit. The third eye was once known as the compass of spirit. It does not point north, it points truth. When you fix your inner compass to blessings, you begin receiving guidance not only toward wealth, but toward the wealth that is meant specifically for you, aligned with your soul. Light codes of abundance. The ancients believed that certain words carried light codes, frequencies that awakened dormant powers within. Blessings is such a word. When spoken with feeling and centered at the third eye, it activates a hidden blueprint for abundance, encoded in your being long before you were born. Rooted vision, rising wealth. Carrots reach deep into the earth and draw light upward. When you drink their juice and focus blessings at your brow, you do the same, rooting your vision in the earth while lifting your spirit into higher frequencies. Wealth then becomes grounded, not fleeting, but established. The inner sun of the mind. The third eye is a hidden sun behind the forehead. When awakened, it begins to emit insight, direction, and radiance. Carrot juice, filled with sunlight from within the root, feeds this inner sun. Blessings becomes the mantra that turns it toward the horizon of new prosperity. Emotion as incantation. In ancient mystery schools, initiates learned that emotion is the true incantation. It is not the word alone that activates power, but the feeling behind it. As you repeat blessings at the third eye, summon gratitude, joy, expectancy. These emotions electrify the word and instruct your reality to harmonize. The spiral of inspired action. Once the third eye aligns with the frequency of blessings, the next step is always revealed. One idea leads to the next. One insight leads to motion. This spiral of inspired action is how the subtle becomes tangible. Carrot juice fuels the mind to receive it. The word blessings signals the journey has begun. The gatekeeper of perception. The third eye is the gatekeeper of what you allow yourself to see. If fear is stationed there, even miracles look like accidents. But when blessings takes its place, your gatekeeper becomes a friend of grace. It opens to divine ideas, to people with favor, to doors previously invisible. Sacred hydration of the mind. Carrot juice does more than nourish, it anoints the mind. In the sacred traditions of the Essenes and other mystics, food was seen as spiritual substance. Drink it slowly, with reverence, and as it passes the brow, say silently, "Anoint my vision with blessings." Watch how guidance follows. The prophetic echo. Whatever is centered in the third eye begins to echo throughout the body and into the world. When blessings is repeated with rhythm and devotion, that echo becomes a command. Life begins to respond. The prophetic nature of the eye awakens, not with thunder, but with daily, quiet miracles. The field of harmonization. The third eye does not create in isolation, it harmonizes with the field around you. As you repeat blessings, this center begins attuning your outer field to magnetize situations, people, and ideas that mirror this vibration. Carrot juice amplifies this tuning, like polishing a tuning fork until it sings. The covenant of inner wealth. Make a covenant with your third eye each morning. I will feed you light. I will center blessings in you. I will follow the guidance you give. Then, sip the carrot juice, repeat your word, feel the abundance in your chest, and wait. Financial blessings, already forming in the unseen, will begin to translate into the visible through steps, signs, and divine momentum. The third eye chakra is the lens of inner vision, sensitive to the vibrations of thought, emotion, and word. When we center the word blessings at this inner eye and nourish it with fresh carrot juice, it awakens a living dialogue between soul and spirit, one that offers real steps and inspired directions to embody and fulfill the frequency of abundance. The inner eye of divine economy. In ancient spiritual economics, wealth was not counted but seen. The third eye was the center of sacred commerce, a vision of balance, overflow, and grace. When the word blessings is placed there with reverent focus, the soul begins to translate unseen abundance into visible form. Carrot juice awakens this sight, and with it comes instructions for exchange, giving, and receiving on a higher plane. Drinking the light of the root. Fresh carrot juice, drawn from the earth and infused with sun, was honored by ancient mystics as a drink that bridges body and vision. It feeds the brain and quickens the mind. When taken before repeating the word blessings at the brow, the third eye becomes more receptive, more luminous, and more precise in revealing the next financial step to take. The vision that creates pathways. Ancient initiates taught that the third eye does not wait for blessings to arrive, it creates the pathways through which they flow. Every repetition of blessings while focused on this center becomes a map drawn in light. Your steps begin to follow this map, and people, resources, and timing move to meet you. The emotional key of sight. It is not the word alone that shifts reality, it is the feeling behind the word. The third eye responds most deeply to emotionally charged vibrations. When blessings is repeated with trust, gratitude, or joy, it unlocks doors in your perception, revealing ways to move in alignment with abundance. Inner flame, outer flow. The third eye was called by some ancient sages the flame of God, the point where divine fire touches human thought. When you place blessings at this point, and stoke that flame with the energy of raw light from carrot juice, the result is motion. The inner flame translates into outer flow, financial, relational, and spiritual. Turning the gaze inward. True wealth begins with an inward gaze. The third eye, when filled with the word blessings, becomes a spiritual telescope, showing you the seeds of wealth already growing in your life. As you nourish it daily with juice and affirmation, it begins to name each seed and the exact way to water it. Anointing the eye with purpose. Mystical texts speak of anointing with sacred oils, but food, too, can be sacrament. When you drink carrot juice intentionally, it becomes an anointing from within. And when paired with repetition of blessings, the eye is consecrated for divine purpose. From there, financial clarity flows, not in confusion but in peace. The eye as architect. Your third eye is an architect, it builds according to the blueprint of what it sees and feels. Place blessings into its care, and it will begin constructing a reality that reflects that design. Each day, carrot juice feeds the builder, and every affirmation adds another stone to the cathedral of your abundance. The intelligence of the light body. The mystics taught that each chakra holds intelligence. The third eye is the mind of the light body, it sees not as eyes see, but as vibration reveals. When you center blessings at this point, you activate this higher mind. It will respond in ideas, nudges, and signs that help manifest financial increase from the inside out. Inner light and outer prosperity. Carrot juice, vibrant with solar frequency, feeds the bioelectric field that surrounds the third eye. As it strengthens your inner light, your capacity to attract outer prosperity grows. Paired with focused repetition of blessings, this practice creates a resonance field where divine provision becomes inevitable. The resonant word. In ancient schools of sound, it was known that each word has a tone, and each tone has a world. Blessings is a tone of divine invitation. When repeated at the third eye, especially after nourishing it with carrot juice, it opens the ears of the soul. You begin to hear what wealth wants to say, how it wants to arrive, through what doors, and on what terms. The breath of alignment. When you breathe in slowly, sip the juice of the earth, and speak blessings at the brow, you create a rhythmic alignment of body, mind, and soul. The third eye becomes a vibrating harp tuned to abundance. And the notes it plays are steps, subtle, wise, and increasingly undeniable. The word that rewrites sight. If you have been seeing through the lens of struggle, scarcity, or separation, blessings is the word that rewrites the script. Focus it at the third eye. Let it overwrite the old vision. Carrot juice helps erase the fatigue of false seeing. Together, they create the strength to perceive the true reality already waiting. The invisible teacher within. Once the third eye is activated with intention and fed with life force, it becomes a teacher. Its curriculum is simple, it offers the next right action to harmonize your external life with your internal blessing. It may say, forgive this, try this, speak here, invest in this. Follow without resistance. It is your soul's highest vision speaking. The opening of the treasury. Mystics once taught of a treasury in the heavens, a place of divine supply. But the key to that treasury is not in the sky, it is in the brow. When you bless your body with sacred nourishment, and bless your sight with the word blessings, you unlock this treasury not as a fantasy, but as felt truth. Your inner world shifts. And when it does, the outer world must follow. The third eye chakra attunes and shapes your perceptual reality. The third eye, historically known as the seat of spiritual sight, becomes more alive and responsive when nourished by fresh carrot juice, and when the word blessings is centered there, it begins to harmonize your entire being with that vibration, revealing real, inspired steps to fulfill that reality. The sacred lens of the soul. In the temples of ancient Kemet and the Vedic Himalayas, the third eye was revered as the lens of the soul, the place where sight became knowing. When you hold the word blessings at this sacred point, it acts as a filter, shifting what you see and therefore what you allow. Carrot juice activates the energy of this lens, awakening your ability to detect wealth in what others overlook. The awakening through nourishment. Mystics understood that sight is not only light, it is nutrition. The beta-carotene of fresh carrot juice is more than physical, it is symbolic of clarity. When you drink it, the third eye stirs, ready to cooperate. Repeating blessings at the brow while nourished by light prepares you to see the financial opportunities that have always been orbiting you. The inner sun of provision. Your third eye is like an inner sun, glowing with dormant potential. The ancients taught that when that light is focused on a single, high vibrational word, it becomes magnetic. Blessings is such a word. The more it is centered there, felt, spoken, believed, the more your perception begins to shape a world where blessings come in financial form. Blessings as vision, not wish. The wise never chased blessings, they saw them. The third eye harmonizes you with what it holds, and it does not respond to begging, it responds to alignment. Repeating blessings with calm assurance places your vibration in resonance with the reality of abundance, not the illusion of distance. The word as seed in the brow. Every word you place at the third eye becomes a seed planted in the garden of sight. Blessings is not just a prayer, it is a command to the subconscious to begin shaping, guiding, and revealing. Nourish this seed with carrot juice daily and water it with gratitude. The harvest will come in the form of ideas, alignments, and provision. The mirror of vibrational wealth. Your third eye reflects back not just what you believe, but what you feel. Feel the word blessings as you repeat it. Infuse it with joy, with expectancy. Then watch as the mirror of your life begins to shimmer with synchronicities, clients, gifts, opportunities, all reflections of your new inner vibration. The golden fluid of perception. In mystical alchemy, orange was the color of internal gold, light rising from root to mind. Carrot juice is alchemical gold in liquid form. Sip it with intention, and you refine the metal of your thoughts. As blessings is spoken over the third eye, this internal gold becomes instruction. And where gold flows, wealth follows. The silence between the words. Mystics knew the third eye doesn't just listen to words, it listens to silence. After repeating blessings, sit in stillness. The carrot juice has awakened your perception. The word has aligned your frequency. Now listen. Financial guidance comes not as a shout, but as a whisper from within. The scribe within the eye. There is an inner scribe in the third eye, recording the words you dwell on. When you choose blessings and hold it in the brow, the scribe rewrites your mental programming. Slowly, old scripts of lack are erased, and new financial stories are composed, with you at the center of a life filled with divine provision. The tuning of the inner instrument. The third eye is like a sacred instrument. If out of tune, everything sounds distorted, especially your perception of wealth. Carrot juice is the oil for the strings. The word blessings is the note it tunes to. With repetition and reverence, your inner frequency begins to harmonize with divine affluence. The spirit of guidance within the juice. The Essenes believed that live foods carried messages from the heavens. Carrot juice, pulled from the earth and kissed by sunlight, awakens the spirit of guidance. Drink it slowly while repeating blessings and you may find the next idea, the next move, or the next person appears with divine timing. The geometry of perception. The third eye arranges your experience through unseen geometry. Blessings, when focused at the brow, shifts the angles of perception so you begin to see abundance where others see limits. Paired with the living clarity of carrot juice, your inner compass recalibrates toward overflow. The portal of the word. Words are not just sounds, they are portals. Blessings is a frequency that opens the portal of financial peace. When held in the third eye, it is as if your inner temple opens, and you are shown how to move, how to think, how to relate to money as a sacred ally rather than a distant stranger. The breath of abundance. Inhale deeply. Sip the juice. Say blessings at the brow. Breathe again. This breath pattern opens the subtle channels between body and spirit. It is in this softened state that wealth begins to flow, not from effort alone, but from divine coherence between vision, word, and being. The covenant of the inner seer. Make a covenant with your third eye. I will feed you light. I will speak only what I choose to see. I will place blessings before you daily. As this covenant is kept, your inner seer will awaken, and your outer world will align. Carrot juice for the body. Blessings for the mind. And inspired action from the soul. The third eye chakra is the center of inner vision, attunement, and divine perception. When you drink fresh carrot juice, you awaken this center, energizing its connection to light, clarity, and insight. When you repeat the word blessings at the brow, the third eye begins to harmonize your reality with the vibration of abundance and reveals steps to walk into that financial reality. The temple of sight and supply. In ancient traditions, the third eye was considered the high altar in the temple of the body. To place the word blessings at this altar is to offer your reality to divine sight. When this center is nourished with carrot juice, the root of clarity and the gold of vision, it begins to offer you steps, one by one, that guide you toward provision. The oracle awakened by earth and sun. The combination of earth-rooted carrot juice and the repetition of blessings acts as a sacred ritual. Carrot juice carries solar wisdom. The word blessings carries spiritual command. Together, they awaken the oracle within your brow, which whispers inspired instructions. Make this call, trust this idea, release that fear. The brow as gateway to wealth perception. Your third eye is not just for visions of the unseen, it perceives wealth in form. But it cannot align you with what you fear. Speak blessings while focusing at the brow, and your perception shifts. You begin to see where value exists, where opportunities live, and how to move toward them with certainty. Nourishing the seer. Within mystical texts speak of the inner seer, an aspect of your soul that watches in stillness. It becomes dull when malnourished and overstimulated. Carrot juice purifies the blood and ignites clarity. As you feed the body, repeat blessings to the seer within. The third eye will stir, and begin translating your prayers into pathways. The power of anchored emotion. The third eye responds not only to thought but to the emotion that anchors it. Blessings becomes a tuning fork when spoken with joy, trust, and expectancy. As carrot juice nourishes the nerves, the emotional signal grows stronger, and the eye begins reordering your world to reflect the inner harmony you've chosen. From light to steps. Carrot juice is liquid light from the earth. It carries within it a vibrational frequency that sharpens spiritual sight. When taken into the body and followed by repeating blessings, the light becomes language, the language of inner instruction. Suddenly, you feel compelled to act, and those small actions lead to great openings. The word that rewrites sight when blessings becomes the dominant word held at the third eye, it begins to override the subconscious imprints of lack. Paired with carrot juice, this becomes an act of sacred rewriting. The old mental pathways of financial fear dissolve, and new scripts of wealth begin to unfold from within. The vision of divine currency to ancient mystics: money was not currency, it was energy in motion. The third eye, when filled with the vibration of blessings, begins to see the movement of this divine currency in your life. It shows you where to give, where to receive, and how to create with sacred flow. Illuminated imagination. The imagination was once seen as the divine faculty of the third eye, a space of sacred creation. When carrot juice nourishes this center, and blessings is whispered into it, you awaken a field of imagination that births ideas capable of generating streams of income aligned with your soul. The eye as covenant keeper. When you consistently return to the word blessings, the third eye responds as a faithful servant. It records your focus and returns to you reflections of what you choose to see. Add carrot juice to this devotion, and the covenant is sealed with clarity. The eye will give you vision, yes, but it will also give you motion. Root and light, foundation and sight. The carrot, buried deep in the soil, contains the memory of light it once absorbed. When you drink its juice and align your mind with the word blessings, you activate both rootedness and vision. This balance helps you build financial structures with both spiritual insight and grounded action. The inner architect of reality. The third eye is your inner architect. It draws blueprints based on your dominant vibration. When blessings is centered here, the eye draws a world that supports generosity, creativity, and overflow. Each glass of carrot juice energizes the pen of this architect, helping it carve out clearer pathways for wealth to flow. The alchemy of intuition and clarity. Mystics once believed true abundance came from aligning intuition with clarity. Carrot juice brings clarity to the body and mind. Blessings aligns intuition to the frequency of divine support. When you merge both, your third eye becomes a living compass, directing you toward ideas, relationships, and investments that prosper. Perception as the first miracle. Financial blessings do not begin with receiving, they begin with seeing. If you cannot see the possibility, you cannot welcome it. The third eye, when cleansed, nourished, and focused, makes space for miracles. Let blessings be the lens you see through, and carrot juice the light that enters that lens. The sacred conversation. Each time you repeat blessings at the brow, you enter a sacred conversation with the unseen realms. The third eye listens, adjusts, and responds. Carrot juice deepens this communion by feeding the nerves that support intuition. And when the eye is fed and heard, it speaks, in symbols, in nudges, in revelations of the next financial doorway to walk through. The lantern of the ancients in the temples of Kemet and the scrolls of Vedic sages, the brow was revered as a lantern of the soul. Its light does not flicker by force but by focus and feeling. When blessings becomes the central vibration and fresh carrot juice nourishes the blood, the lantern glows, and begins to light the path of provision. The third eye as divine harmonizer. The third eye is not just a window, it is an orchestra conductor. When you feed it the tone of blessings, it rearranges the inner symphony of thought and emotion to match that tone. Carrot juice, filled with solar codes, strengthens its hands. Then it conducts you into experiences where wealth harmonizes with grace. The memory of Eden. Your third eye remembers Eden, the realm of unbroken supply. When you whisper blessings into it and drink of the earth's gold, carrot juice, this memory stirs. You begin to perceive yourself not as a beggar of life but a child of an infinite garden. Financial instructions arise, not from panic, but from trust. The root of light awakens the eye of light. Carrots, hidden in earth but kissed by the sun, mirror your journey. Their juice nourishes the pineal temple, where the eye of light rests. As blessings echoes in this chamber, the root of light, your will, and the eye of light, your vision, unite. This union births direction, a knowing of where provision awaits. The eye that prays in pictures the mystics of old understood, the third eye prays in images, not words. When you speak blessings to it, you must feel it too. Then, visions come, glimpses of a new financial future. Carrot juice enlivens the optic nerves of the soul. It brightens the pictures, sharpens the impressions, and prompts real-world action. The eye's agreement with emotion. The third eye does not obey logic, it obeys emotionally charged thought. When you say blessings and feel joy, expectancy, or gratitude, the eye takes that as a command. Carrot juice softens resistance and opens neural pathways. Then comes the inner whisper, call this person. Release this doubt. Begin this plan. The clarity of sacred nourishment. Every drink is a message. Carrot juice tells the body, you are loved. You are light-fed. The third eye receives this signal and expands. Add blessings to the moment and it becomes a sacrament, a communion with destiny. Now the eye becomes not only aware but engaged, offering the next financial insight. Vision is seeded in silence before form is finance, it is frequency. When you still yourself, drink carrot juice in mindfulness, and focus blessings into your third eye, you plant the seed of provision into spiritual soil. The eye begins growing a new field, one made visible only when you're attuned enough to act. The gate of inspired motion. The ancients knew, vision without movement is illusion. But when the third eye is alive with blessings and the body is fed with vibrant juices, the barrier between inspiration and action dissolves. You feel the urge to shift. To clean, to reach out, to receive. These are not random, they are the steps of financial awakening. The eye remembers what you repeat. Every repetition of blessings writes on the scroll of your inner eye. The eye reads it back as reality. Carrot juice adds fuel to this inscription. Over time, your third eye doesn't just see wealth, it expects it. And that expectation is a magnet, drawing the equivalent into view. The eye as magnetic mirror. The third eye is a mirror magnet, it reflects and it attracts. When you reflect blessings into it again and again, while feeding it earth's golden drink, it begins to mirror that reality outward, bringing events, people, and synchronicities into alignment. The crossroad of energy and vision. All financial increase begins at a crossroad of energy and vision. The third eye sits at this intersection. Blessings activates vision. Carrot juice fuels the energy. Together they become a compass, and from the brow, you feel the pull toward sacred movement, your next offering, your right direction. The light compass within carrot juice is captured sunlight. The third eye, when clear, becomes a compass of that light. Speaking blessings aligns the needle to abundance. You begin to feel your way forward, not through force, but through inner knowing. Ancient scrolls of inner instruction within the third eye are scrolls, written long before this life. Some pages are sealed until you speak the words that open them. Blessings is such a key. Carrot juice opens the nervous system to receive the instructions. Suddenly, what was vague becomes specific. What was hoped for becomes known. The prayer of sight made flesh. When you continuously drink of the juice of the root and speak blessings with feeling, The third eye no longer simply sees abundance, it begins to construct it in your field. Financial blessings then become not wishful thoughts but embodied direction, born from vision, carried by action, fulfilled by grace. The third eye chakra attune our perceptual reality, is sensitive to feelings and emotions, and whatever words or ideas center there, it attempts to harmonize us within that reality, and when we drink fresh carrot juice it comes more alive and begin to give us steps and suggestions to take to fulfill that reality. As we repeat the word blessings while focusing on third eye chakra, we will begin to receive inspirations to harmonize within that reality. ChatGPT said, "Here are 15 new deep historical mystical spiritual contemplations on financial blessings through the attuning power of the third eye chakra, exploring how emotions, words, and nutrition, especially fresh carrot juice, activate inner vision and align us with the vibrational reality of abundance." The alchemy of inner light. In the Hermetic schools of ancient Alexandria, it was taught that vision governs matter. The third eye was the alchemical lens through which thoughts, once feeling charged, would begin to crystallize. Drinking carrot juice, rooted in solar fire, feeds this lens, and as the word blessings resounds there, the alchemy begins. Financial harmony is no longer an idea, but a vibration organizing form. The solar root awakens the lunar eye from the soil, the carrot grows toward the sun. Its juice carries solar memory. When taken into the body, it awakens the lunar, reflective aspect of the third eye. Now the eye begins to reflect what you feel. Speak blessings with conviction, and the eye becomes a mirror of increase, attracting life to match your utterance. The scroll of divine economy. In the mystery temples of early Sumer, it was known, vision precedes provision. The third eye was seen as the reader of the divine scroll, your soul's instructions. Blessings, when centered in that eye, opens the scroll of divine economy. Carrot juice, rich in the essence of the sun, gives the body clarity to hear. Directions arise, inner maps of how to step into abundance. The chamber of the crownless kings. Before kings wore crowns, they were first crowned within, through vision and word. The third eye is this inner crown, sensitive to what we feel and speak. Say blessings and it tries to build a kingdom that reflects that. Carrot juice, a drink once reserved for temple initiates, awakens its throne room. Financial clarity becomes part of your royalty. The mystic compass of perception. The third eye is not a decoration, it is a compass. But its needle points toward what you emotionally repeat. Blessings points it toward provision. Carrot juice activates its magnetic current, and you begin to feel where prosperity lives. Not by guesswork, but by spiritual direction. The breath of blessings becomes action. The essence taught that what we breathe, we become. When you breathe and repeat blessings, the third eye begins to write blueprints of action. Fresh carrot juice energizes the nervous system so that visions don't remain passive, they move you. What once felt mystical becomes practical, embodied, lived. The frequency of divine order in Kabbalistic thought, the third eye, the At, bridges wisdom with manifestation. Centering blessings here turns your mind into an antenna. Carrot juice enhances signal clarity, and now you hear the unspoken frequency of divine order. Financial blessings begin organizing themselves around your harmonized perception. The living pulpit of inner speech. The third eye is your inner pulpit, and whatever word you preach from it becomes your life sermon. Blessings spoken here becomes law. Carrot juice acts like anointing oil, activating sensitivity, clarity, and vitality. You begin to attract like a prophet who knows the direction of harvest. The temple of clear-seeing mystics of Tibet meditated upon a temple of sapphire light in the brow. This temple listens not to thought alone, but to feeling-toned words. Blessings chanted with reverence builds altars of wealth inside. Carrot juice feeds the bloodstream of this temple. Then, sacred instructions appear, your financial enlightenment path becomes visible. The solar eye and the seed word carrot juice, infused with golden energy, activates the solar aspect of your eye. Into this eye, you plant the seed word, blessings. The chakra, sensitive to seed and soil, begins cultivating your perceptual field to match this declaration. Money, opportunity, favor, all begin to align. The great harmonizer of the invisible, the third eye, is not passive, it recalibrates reality based on your dominant emotional vision. When blessings becomes your mantra and carrot juice your sacrament, this eye harmonizes unseen forces. People respond differently. Doors appear. You did not chase wealth, it now recognizes you. The eye as architect of financial structure. As the ancients built temples from divine blueprints, so too does your third eye architect the form of your financial life. Center blessings there, and it begins drawing spiritual blueprints. Carrot juice strengthens the inner builder, the energetic scaffolding stabilizes. Your outer world begins to mirror the inner structure. The oracle of sacred nourishment. The Delphic oracles fasted and purified before receiving divine vision. In modern times, your own nourishment is the key. Carrot juice becomes your sacred offering. When taken with blessings repeated at the third eye, visions of wealth in alignment with your soul's truth begin to emerge. The spiral of inner and outer echoes, your thoughts spiral out and return. The third eye is the amplifier of this spiral. With blessings as the central sound and carrot juice fueling your electric body, what spirals out becomes a financial echo, circling back with increase, opportunity, and miraculous ease. The path of inspired provision. The third eye gives more than sight, it gives inspired strategy. When harmonized with blessings and awakened by the solar elixir of carrot juice, it speaks softly, try this, speak to them, write that down. These whispers are heaven's steps toward earthly provision. Follow them, and lack dissolves like a mist before the morning sun. The eye of sacred harmonies. Throughout ancient Egypt, the eye of Horus symbolized divine perception. It was believed that whatever was emotionally impressed upon this eye would begin to shape the rhythms of life. When we drink carrot juice, Earth's liquid sunlight, the third eye becomes more electrically alive, more responsive. As we repeat blessings and feel it, the eye seeks to match our world to that sacred vibration. The anointed eye of visionaries. The mystics of early Christendom fasted and anointed their brow in oils to awaken sacred vision. Today, we do this through nourishment, carrot juice as the inner oil of perception. With blessings spoken in the chamber of the third eye, the eye itself becomes a compass, giving instructions in the language of insight, intuition, and divine economics. The silent architect of reality. The third eye does not shout, it harmonizes. It listens to feeling, to repetition, and begins reconfiguring perception. Repeating blessings is the sacred design, and carrot juice is the sacred ink. As these align, new ideas for financial openings begin to emerge, not from effort, but from energetic congruence. The fire in the root, the light in the brow. In Vedic teachings, the body is a temple of elemental forces. The root pulls from earth, the brow radiates with light. Carrot juice awakens both root and ray. When the third eye is fed and focused with blessings, it sends ripples through time, harmonizing the unseen toward wealth and favor. The mirror of what is repeated. The sages of Delphi declared, know thyself. The third eye, like a mirror, reflects what is most emotionally repeated. When we center blessings there, it no longer shows us fear, it shows us paths of plenty. Carrot juice enhances the mirror's polish. Now you begin to see reflections of providence. The temple of perceptual offerings. Just as incense was once offered in the inner sanctuaries of temples, our word is the offering we place upon the altar of the third eye. Blessings becomes the incense. Carrot juice, the fire beneath the altar, makes it rise. Visions come not only of wealth, but of how to move toward it in alignment. The oracle of emotional precision. Mystical traditions taught that the higher eye is responsive to emotionally charged language. It is not mere words that activate reality, but feeling-filled mantras. Blessings, when spoken with reverence and focus, programs the eye. Carrot juice fuels it, and steps arise within you like divine whispers. The scribe of your future. The third eye is a spiritual scribe, writing your perceptual script in the field of form. When you feed this scribe with clean vision, through carrot juice, and sacred words like blessings, it begins to draft financial chapters aligned with grace, overflow, and synchronicity. The crown's hidden gate. Ancient kings consulted inner seers before battles or decisions. The true seer is within, the third eye. It opens most deeply when nourished and attuned. Drink carrot juice. Center blessings as a feeling and a vision. The gate opens. Financial solutions arrive through dreams, encounters, and sudden clarity. The eye of inner government. In Kabbalistic thought, the eyes are governors of experience. The third eye is the invisible ruler of perception. It governs by what you emotionally decree. Blessings as a decree, begins to attract what harmonizes with it. Carrot juice sharpens the ruler's scepter. Financial grace begins to fall in line. The spiral staircase of provision. Mystics often spoke of spirals, ascents into the higher realms. The third eye is such a spiral. It leads from idea to reality. Each repetition of blessings is a step upward. Carrot juice activates the clarity needed to walk those steps. You begin to receive ideas that build tangible financial blessings. The inner witness of wealth. The third eye is not only for seeing, it is for witnessing the true. When we speak blessings with emotion and sincerity, the eye opens to witness the pathways that already exist. Carrot juice removes veils. The money isn't created, it is recognized. The violet flame of creation. In esoteric Christianity and Theosophy, the violet flame purifies and transfigures. The third eye holds this fire when activated. Blessings is fuel. Carrot juice is the spark. You begin to transmute scarcity into supply, not through hustle, but through vibrational realignment. The golden cartographer within every soul carries a map. The third eye is its reader. Words like blessings act as coordinates. The more you repeat, the clearer the map becomes. Carrot juice vitalizes your inner cartographer. The terrain of wealth is no longer confusing, it is marked with glowing beacons. The messenger of divine economy. The ancient Essenes believed in an economy of heaven, where each soul receives its due through alignment. The third eye is the channel for these messages. Blessings becomes a call. Carrot juice strengthens the receiver. Then, like a quiet telegram from spirit, the next financial opportunity arrives, clearly, naturally, sacredly. The third eye chakra is the inner lens through which our perceptual reality is harmonized, especially when activated by emotion, focused words, and the sacred nourishment of fresh carrot juice, which sharpens inner clarity and awakens divine inspiration. The seer's chalice. In ancient temples of light, prophets drank from sacred vessels before entering trance. Today, the chalice is carrot juice, its brightness feeding the pineal gland, clearing the veils of confusion. When the word blessings is repeated with devotion at the third eye, steps of financial grace emerge, like golden footprints revealed in mist. The harmonizing eye. Mystical traditions speak of a spiritual eye that does not see form but meaning. It harmonizes what we feel and say into what we see. When we drink carrot juice, the harmonizer awakens. With blessings centered there, the third eye begins weaving patterns of provision, drawing us into the resonance of wealth. The inner architect. Every idea placed at the third eye becomes a blueprint. Emotion is the ink. Repetition is the drafting. Carrot juice fuels the architect's sight. Blessings, when felt and focused, becomes a design for your life. Finances realign because the inner structure is now constructed for abundance. The golden staff of the brow. In the mystery schools of old, initiates carried a staff as a symbol of inner sight and outer command. Your staff is invisible, but felt between the brows. Drinking carrot juice sharpens your grip on it. Repeat blessings, and the third eye points the way like a compass, revealing divine timing and financial doors. The river oracle. The ancient mystics said a stream runs through the third eye, a river of perception. Carrot juice stirs this sacred water. The word blessings acts like a prayer stone dropped into its current, sending ripples into your life. The reflections come back as guidance, as opportunities, as prosperity in motion. The lamp within the skull. Mystical texts often speak of the body as a temple and the third eye as its lamp. Carrot juice feeds its flame. When we center blessings there, the lamp brightens and begins to project divine symbols. Suddenly, we see how to act, what to offer, whom to call. The light shows the path of blessing. The hidden scroll. Within the third eye lies a scroll, the destiny of wealth written in invisible ink. Carrot juice begins to make it legible. The word blessings, repeated with feeling, is the translation key. Ideas begin to appear, not from striving, but from silent seeing. Action flows from vision made real. The tuning fork of heaven. The third eye is a cosmic tuning fork, vibrating to the song of your inner words. Blessings is the frequency of financial favor. Carrot juice is the sacred soundboard that amplifies it. As you repeat the word, the tuning begins. What's out of sync drops away. What aligns arrives. The alchemical lens. Alchemists believed that spirit could transmute matter through refined perception. The third eye is the alchemical lens. Carrot juice purifies the lens. Blessings, when repeated at the brow, begins the transmutation. Lack becomes learning. Vision becomes value. Your reality obeys the eye that sees with clarity. The flame of clarity. Mystics in Persia taught of an inner flame, lit not with fire but with focused thought. Blessings becomes that flame when placed at the third eye. Carrot juice is the sacred oil. With this illumination, financial confusion begins to clear. You are guided not by fear, but by the light of vision. The seer's garden. In the ancient East, sages meditated on the third eye as a fertile garden. Whatever was planted there, word, image, or emotion, would bloom. Carrot juice nourishes the soil. Blessings becomes the seed. The harvest is rich, financial insight, favor with others, and calm inner knowing of what step to take next. The oracle mirror. The pineal gland was once called the mirror of the soul. Carrot juice polishes this mirror. When blessings is repeated, not just as a word but as a vibration, the mirror reflects visions of divine provision. You are shown not only what is, but what could be, if you align your heart and hands. The chamber of divine instruction. Hidden within the third eye is a chamber of light, where the soul receives instruction. Most never enter it clearly. But when the eye is nourished by fresh carrot juice and the steady prayer of blessings, the chamber opens. In that silence, ideas arrive like whispers from angels, where to move, how to invest, when to wait. The crowned brow. In sacred traditions, crowns were placed not only on the head but imagined on the brow, the seat of sovereignty. To crown the third eye is to rule perception. Blessings is your royal decree. Carrot juice enlivens your inner throne. Now, your financial life begins to reflect inner dominion. The eye of the giver. The third eye is not only to receive, it is to give. As we drink carrot juice, it awakens the inner projector. What we radiate, we amplify. Repeating blessings activates a broadcast. Others feel it. Life begins to mirror it. Opportunities magnetize to you not by force, but by the gentle pull of generosity returned. The third eye chakra is a tuner of reality, sensitive to feeling, word, and emotion. When fresh carrot juice is consumed, this inner eye awakens further, becoming more vibrant, intuitive, and directive, especially when we repeat the word blessings and allow it to harmonize us into a reality of divine provision and inspired action. The oracle of inner alignment. In ancient mystery schools, seers aligned the third eye with cosmic law by fasting on color and sound. Today, when you drink fresh carrot juice, vibrant and orange like the setting sun, it feeds the eye of vision. As you repeat blessings, this center begins harmonizing your feelings and thoughts with the realm of divine wealth already awaiting you. The vision of the Anointed One. In sacred texts, the anointing oil was placed upon the brow to mark one chosen by Spirit. In your modern temple, carrot juice is that oil, nourishing your pineal temple. When you focus on blessings while attuning the third eye, your vision clears, and financial answers begin to rise, not from logic, but from a deeper well. The prism of divine provision. The third eye is like a sacred prism. Thoughts are light. Feelings are color. When you drink carrot juice, the prism becomes polished. With blessings centered in this luminous eye, your perception bends toward provision, refracting into inspired choices, new ideas, and unexpected opportunities. The seer's gate. In the temples of Egypt, initiates were taught that the brow is a gate. Few could enter it cleanly. But carrot juice, fresh, vibrant, was known to awaken it. As you repeat blessings, you approach the gate with humility, and it opens to show you the way, a financial blessing waiting in the field of thought, now ripening into form. The scroll of inner guidance. In mystical Judaism, the scroll was sacred. Hidden within the third eye is your personal scroll. Carrot juice moistens the ink. Blessings unlocks the script. With every repetition, new sentences of wisdom arise, a call to shift careers, to offer your gift, to trust your timing. You are reading the script of divine wealth. The silent watcher. Ancient yogis called the third eye the seat of the inner witness. It watches not with judgment but with knowing. Carrot juice quickens this observer. When you speak blessings, you feed it a code. And it watches your path begin to curve toward the good, the true, and the financially aligned. The compass of thought. When travelers of old looked to the stars for guidance, their real compass was internal. The third eye was that compass. It only needed fuel, clarity, calm, carrot juice. Now, with blessings whispered into its depths, the compass swings toward financial north, and your steps align with direction, not confusion. The echo chamber of creation. Words spoken to the third eye do not vanish, they echo. They resonate. Carrot juice heightens the sensitivity of that echo chamber. The word blessings begins to resound, harmonizing each part of you with the vibration of enough, of overflow. What was once silent becomes a chorus of divine direction. The inner throne. In ancient empires, the throne room was the seat of vision and command. Your third eye is such a throne. Carrot juice stirs the sovereign awake. When blessings becomes the mantra of your reign, your inner command sends out decrees to the world: align, open, provide. The kingdom responds. The crown of perception. The sages taught that what we perceive, we receive. Carrot juice brightens the crown of perception. Blessings turns the lens. Now you see potential instead of problem. You notice whispers of financial wisdom, a book, a mentor, a shift. What you see, you begin to embody. The lantern of the path. The pineal gland is the lantern of your soul's journey. It glows dimly for many, until lit with right nourishment, carrot juice, sacred breath, and prayer. When blessings is repeated into this lantern, it burns with brighter light. Now, your path becomes visible, step by golden step. The eye of the prophet. Prophets in ancient texts did not guess, they saw. The third eye is your prophet's vision. Carrot juice nourishes it. Blessings attunes it. As you speak the word, you begin to prophesy over your own life, not in fear, but in abundance. You see money as mission, work as service, your future as fertile. The mirror of manifestation. The third eye reflects what is held before it. Feelings become form. Repetition becomes reflection. Carrot juice wipes the glass clean. Now blessings held at your brow reflects outward. Life begins to shimmer with what you've centered inwardly: opportunities, provision, and peace. The altar of the mind's temple. The third eye is not just vision, it is an altar where offerings of thought and word are placed. Carrot juice is the incense. Blessings is the sacred chant. With these, your altar begins to pulse with light, and your finances start aligning with heaven's rhythm of flow, grace, and sufficiency. The star of divine navigation. In ancient Kemet, the eye of Horus was a celestial map. The third eye today is your star of navigation. Carrot juice clears the night sky. Blessings becomes your north star. As you follow this word inward, you begin to receive divine nudges outward, toward financial decisions that birth more than wealth, but legacy.